Imagine, for a moment, the dust and rubble of a broken city. Jerusalem, after decades of exile, was a shadow of its former self. The temple, once the magnificent heart of their worship, lay in ruins. The people, battered by judgment and years in Babylon, had returned, but they carried more than just physical burdens. They carried the heavy weight of their past, their failures, their collective shame. And standing in the midst of this weary people, representing them before God, was the high priest Joshua. He wasn't some grand, imposing figure in that moment. In Zechariah's vision, Joshua stood before the angel of the Lord, and before the angel's piercing gaze, Joshua's appearance was starkly revealed. He was clothed in filthy rags. These weren't just dirty clothes. They were garments soiled with sin, with the grime of their nation's unfaithfulness, with the very shame of a people who had fallen so far from grace. He stood there, exposed, utterly defenseless. But Joshua wasn't alone in this divine court. Standing at his right hand, ready to accuse, was Satan, the accuser. Can you feel the tension in that scene? Joshua, weighed down by his own imperfections and the sins of his people, standing silent, shamed, while the adversary meticulously laid out every fault, every transgression, every reason why Joshua, and by extension, all of Israel, deserved condemnation. It's a feeling many of us know all too well. That inner voice, or the whispers of external judgment, recounting every mistake, every failure, piling on the guilt until you feel utterly worthless, beyond redemption. But then, a voice breaks through the accusation. Not Joshua's, for he has no defense. Not Satan's, for he is only there to condemn. It is the voice of the Lord himself, speaking to the accuser with unyielding authority. The Lord rebuke you, Satan. The Lord who has chosen Jerusalem rebuke you. Is not this man a brand plucked from the fire? Think about the power in that declaration. God doesn't engage in a debate with Satan's worthiness. He doesn't need to. He simply silences the accuser with his divine authority and his sovereign choice. Is not this man a brand plucked from the fire? This isn't about Joshua earning his way out of shame. It's about God's undeserved grace, his fierce protection, his decision to rescue. It's a statement of ownership and rescue. This one, flawed as he is, belongs to me. I have chosen him. I have saved him from destruction. And then comes the profound moment of transformation. The angel of the Lord turns to those standing near and issues a command that resonates through the ages. Remove the filthy garments from him. Imagine the stripping away, every stain, every tear, every thread infused with the memory of failure and disgrace being pulled away, discarded. The weight of shame visibly lifted. It's a breathtaking image of divine intervention, a physical manifestation of cleansing. But God doesn't stop at removing the old. He doesn't leave Joshua naked or vulnerable. The command continues, and to him he said, "See, I have removed your iniquity from you, and I will clothe you with rich robes and put a clean turban on your head." In that instant, the tattered rags of shame are replaced with rich robes, garments of honor, dignity, and purity. And a clean turban, a symbol of his high priestly office, now restored, undefiled. This wasn't just a change of clothes, it was a profound change of identity, publicly declared and divinely sanctioned. Joshua, once shamed, now stood clothed in righteousness, accepted and affirmed by God himself. He wasn't merely forgiven, he was restored to his position, to his purpose. The vision concludes with God giving Joshua a charge. "If you will walk in my ways and keep my requirements, then you will govern my house and have charge of my courts, and I will give you access among these who are standing here." His cleansing was not just for comfort, it was for renewed purpose. He was invited back into intimate fellowship and service. Joshua's experience in Zechariah 3 is a powerful, timeless message for each of us. How often do we stand, spiritually speaking, in our own filthy rags? The rags of past mistakes, the gaunting guilt of choices we regret, the shame of unmet expectations, the accusations of others, or even our own inner critic. We feel exposed, perhaps even like Satan is standing there, rehearsing every fault, telling us we are beyond hope, unworthy of love, incapable of change. But Zechariah 3 reminds us of a profound truth. God sees us not for our filthy rags, but for who He intends us to be. He doesn't engage with the accusations. Instead, His response is one of unconditional grace and radical restoration. He silences the accuser. He reaches down and strips away the garments of shame and guilt that cling so tightly. And He doesn't leave us exposed. He clothes us in robes of His own righteousness, His own acceptance, His own purity. Just as Joshua was given access to God's house and courts, we too are invited into a renewed relationship and purpose. So, perhaps today you are carrying a burden of shame, a sense of being unworthy. Remember Joshua. Remember that God delights in erasing all your shame. He wants to strip away those tattered garments of your past and clothe you anew. You are a brand plucked from the fire, chosen by Him, loved by Him, and made clean by His grace. Step into that renewed identity, confident in His acceptance, and walk forward in the freedom He offers. We hope this reflection on Zechariah 3 has offered you a moment of peace and reassurance. If this message resonated with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What does erasing shame mean to you? Feel free to share and join our community as we explore more stories of God's transformative grace. Don't forget to follow or subscribe for more reflections like this. The sound of gentle underscore swells slightly, then fades out completely.